All right, everyone, it is officially 6:30, time to get started. Welcome to the Ohio State University-Newark campus. We're so excited that you are here tonight joining us virtually. My name is Amy Mangus. I am the Assistant Director of Admissions, and we are so happy that we have Shantrice Bradley, our housing coordinator, to talk to you tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to her. At the end, we will talk about any kind of questions you can put in the chat. We do have Kelsey Heasley, who's on the admissions team behind the scenes working the chat for us. And then if there's some admissions questions, we can take care of those too. But I'm going to pass it over to Shantrice now.
Hi, everyone. Lovely to speak with you tonight. All right, so I'm just going to go over just the overall of our residential community here on campus. So at Newark, we have enough housing space for 310 students living on campus. We have our traditional residence hall dorm style and then apartment style. And because we have the limited spaces, we do have a lottery. So those who are interested in living on campus will need to pay the $350 housing deposit by mid-April before our lottery begins. So the deadline, we say mid-April to try to make sure that you have everything in order before the deadline of April 24th, but that is when you'll need to have everything submitted. It's very essential as well that to be look out on your Buckeye email. So if you have stated that you were interested in housing, we do all communication through your student email account. If you, in the beginning, if you didn't have interest in housing and you selected no, then you'll need to contact us directly to make sure to get that information. So that's a little bit about the administrative piece of our space. Next, we're going to go over just where you potentially can be staying. So first is McConnell Hall. McConnell Hall is our first year only residence hall. So those who are in the lottery, we fill the those who are selected to live on campus. First year students are kind of filled here first. It's more so where you have your community style of living. So on the first floor, you'll have your kitchen that's shared with the entire building. We do provide dishes, pots and pans, and utensils for our residents in McConnell Hall. And we also have laundry facilities also on the first floor, and those are absolutely free. So it's for the whole building. On each floor is a community restroom, but before you think about like the locker room style, all of our community bathrooms are individually stalled where they have a lock. So you still have that privacy of having to be in your own bathroom. You just happen to share it with everyone on the floor. And so this is just the view inside of McConnell Hall. So there's two residents per room. They'll each get their own bed, own desk. They share a microwave and a refrigerator, a mini fridge that's shared with their roommate. The beds are not, they cannot be bunked. So we respect the community, but just for safety reasons, they cannot be bunked to try to make more space. But yeah, that's the view inside. And then on each of our floors in the middle, we have, in the middle and the ends, we have our lounge areas. So our lounge areas is for students to have fellowship, study, spend time together. There's also a dry erase wall located in the center in which they can use that to, we have students that either like draw or they use that to study and take notes when they're doing group study. But there's also a lounge area at the end of each hallway. And like I said before, the first floor, you have your lobby area that has the community style kitchen that's shared with the building. We also have the laundry facilities, as you can see in the back as well. And so there's also the mailboxes. So McConnell Hall is also kind of like the hub for all of our residence halls on campus, where you'll pick up your packages. Even if you live in apartments, it will be in McConnell Hall. And so that's the lobby area. And then moving on to apartments. So apartments, we have 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom apartments. So 2 residents per room. So you'll have either 4 or 6 residents in the apartment space. The apartments include Pretty much everything in McConnell. You have your, but you're just sharing it with a small amount of people, but you have a full kitchen of your stove, microwave, refrigerator, and dishwasher. And then like in the bedroom, same as you saw inside McConnell, where you have a desk and the bed, and a chair, same furniture, some like furniture in the bedrooms, and then they'll have their own bathroom and shower that they share with their suite mates. All right, and this is a better angle of what you receive in regards to the living room area space. So we do have, I do want to note too that with the community style McConnell Hall, we do have our facilities that does cleaning, but we do not do provide any cleaning services in the apartment. So those living in apartments were responsible for its own upkeep, but in McConnell Hall, we do have staff that cleans the community areas frequently. Yeah, just another angle, which you may see. And again, it's just the inside, same setup as you've seen in McConnell, where you have the beds, a desk, a chair for each resident, and they kind of have their own side. Another wonderful angle. All right, and then this is where I'll toss it back to you, Amy.
Thank you, Chantrice. So there are some activities on campus, and maybe, Chantrice, we might need you as well. But for the community council, this is part that it works at that, it's at the housing level as well, correct?
Yes, so we do provide opportunities for our students to give input of what activities and events they like to see on campus. Our students this year really love bingo. That's a popular one. But we also have like bigger events too, where we've had trivia nights. We also are preparing for our end of the year bash currently with inflatable. We have arcade games being provided on campus, and then a DJ and a photo booth to kind of celebrate the year. And then our resident advisors or our RAs do monthly events for their floor and their community as well. So that is a lot of the involvement there when it comes to our events and programming on campus.
Great, thank you for that. And then let's just talk a little bit about student life here on campus. You know, a lot of things that they talk about, how am I going to stay involved when I'm living at the Newark campus, is that we have over 30 different clubs and organizations here on campus. We have learning communities, that those are a great way to get involved with the community. If honors is exciting to you, or the Fever Fellows, which is a group of students who do community service, we have support for our student success. You have the opportunity to study abroad. You have connections to the campus, the Columbus campus. You can join the band and make that work while you're still living at Newark. One of the questions that we get a lot is there transportation to get from the Newark campus to the Columbus campus for any of those activities? And no, we do not, but we encourage cars and carpooling. And then safety on campus, Chantrice, do you want to talk a little bit about what goes on at the resident halls?
Yes, ma'am. So, like I said, our RAs is our front, what we consider like our front line, when it comes to security. So they do rounds, throughout each night, to kind of monitor, to make sure everything is held safe. And they are well trained, go through 2 weeks of extensive training when it comes to crisis management and safety, to ensure that everyone's having a good residential experience. As well as we have the OSU campus police that we work in collaboration with when we have problems that, if we have any situations that escalate above what our RAs can handle. And then me being senior staff as housing coordinator, I am also on duty as well throughout the year to, again, be that resource for my RA staff as well as the residents if there's any troubles or any matters that may occur. And the information is also plastered all throughout our community of like who's on call, when to call, between just calling the front desk or the RA. And then I could, and it's me again. I love my time. So like again, I've been mentioning the RA position. So, our resident advisors are students who have live-on experience, who most likely have, most of our RAs have already lived with us before. So they can really, engage with their peers and the residents of the community, to be able to match them with resources or be a resource for their time here. We also have our office assistants that help with our front desk operations. So they handle lockouts, any type of when you get your packages, issuing of packages, or if there's any troubles or needs, they'll be able to call up to the right person, whether it's calling up to the RA on call or leadership, senior leadership like myself, for any crisis management or issues that comes involved.
I can talk about this.
Okay.
One of the questions we get a lot is, can students have a campus on or a car at our campus? Absolutely, yes. There are not only 3 lots that are near the residence halls for students to park in, but anywhere across our campus, you can park in the white line spaces. Yellow line spaces are for faculty and staff. And unlike the Columbus campus, our parking here at the Ohio State Newark is free. All you need to do is register and pick up your parking pass with campus security, which you will do that at your orientation date. And so this is the information for housing, like Chantrice had said before. If you have any questions for housing, or if you did not ask or you did not indicate that you were looking for housing and you need to contact them, please email them at housing@osu.edu, or their phone number is 614-292-8266. And remember how important it is that you are using your student Buckeye Mail account for these correspondence. So a little bit on the admissions side, some important dates for everybody to know. The housing lottery, that's what we're talking about tonight, the whole point. But the application is available now, and the students who had said that they were interested should have already received an email to their Buckeye Mail regarding this process. Again, if you did not get that email, you're not sure if you received it, or if you need to ask for it, you will email housing@osu.edu. And the application is due technically April 24th. But we always say if you plan for April 15th, you will be well ahead of the schedule to make sure that everything is in. And then you will be notified whether you were accepted or not before May 1st. And then again, that $350 deposit is due when you submit that application. $300 of that $350 is refundable if the student will remain on the wait list if they did not get into housing. And then there's and that housing wait list is, I believe, till mid-July, I believe. Chantrice is shaking her head for me. So yes, that housing, you stay on there for a little bit of time, but you will get that 300 of the 350 back. Deadlines. Now, it's kind of past due for those learning communities, but if you have not applied to a learning community yet, we would love for you to apply to a learning community. Again, mid-April is on-campus housing application. We say you should have it in by April 15th, just to make sure. April 15th is also the deadline for our honors program. April 19th is the Ohio Means Science STEM Scholarship Program. May 15th is National Reply Date for us. And then I know it's out of order, but I wanted to key point that the April 15th registration for orientation emails will be going out. Those will only go out to students who have paid that $100 acceptance fee. There'll be plenty of time. They go out weekly after April 15th for students who have continued to pay that $100 acceptance fee, but you want to make sure that you get in on that so that you can schedule the orientation that you would like. And then some of our upcoming events that we have one more, what we call a Buckeye Visit Day. It's a chance to visit campus in person on Saturday, April 20th. And then we have two more virtual events like this tonight, one being next Thursday with Disability Services. And then the final one will be a parent session on Thursday, April 18th. Both of these programs start at 6:30 and you know how to go there. It's go.osu.edu/visit Newark to register for those events as well. Here's some links for applicants, for admitted students, parents, or if you're not sure how to visit us, these are all great information. And then there is a parent and supporter group on Facebook. It's a great resource. If you have questions or you just kind of want to know what other parents are doing, that one. Kelsey, who's working behind the scenes for us, is doing our Instagram. She has great materials on Instagram, so definitely make sure that you follow us. And then if you have any more questions or you need any help, feel free to call our admissions office 740-366-9344, or you can email us at newark-askabuckeye@osu.edu. I'll leave that for just a moment in case anybody wants to take a picture of that so that they know how to get in touch, or they need their admissions counselors, again, to help set up that Buckeye mail to pay that $100 acceptance fee, or maybe you just not sure what department you need to talk to, we can help put you in touch for those as well. And this is my information again. And before, I know we went through that really fast, and I know Kelsey is probably working on some things on the chat. But Kelsey, is there anything that we should answer out for everybody to hear?
Yes. Hi, Amy. We got a couple questions just about like the parking on campus and parking passes and how to attain those. So can you just go over that process one more time for our crowd today?
Sure can. Thank you. So when you come to orientation, which remember that orientation email will be sent out April 15th to your students' Buckeye Mail account, they will pick their orientation. So when you come to your orientation date, you will stop at our security office, which is located in Warner Center, and we will make sure that you get there. So will the advising team, the orientation team, and all you have to do is have your ID, which is how you're going to get your Buck ID as well. And then you have a little form to fill out. It's kind of like the name, the make and model of your car, the license plate number, and then you fill that in and they switch that out. They put it in the system and you get a hanging tag so that they know that you're one of our students and that you have permission to park on campus. But again, it's absolutely free to park in the white lines. The yellow lines are reserved for faculty and staff. Kelsey, was there anything else that we should talk about?
That was our only question.
All right, fantastic. We will give it just one more minute longer in case anybody has any last moment, anything that they want to put in the chat that they need help with. But other than that, we want to thank Chantrice for coming and talking about the housing process tonight. Again, housing@osu.edu is going to be that email. And I would say out of experience, an email is actually going to be faster than calling them. So again, that's housing@osu.edu.
Amy, we had one more question pop up in the chat. So is it okay if I read it real quick?
Absolutely.
So this person said in the beginning of the application process, they created a username for Ohio State. So this is more of an admissions question. But
Okay.
how do I access the Buckeye Mail?
I'm sorry, how do you access the Buckeye Mail once you've been admitted?
It sounds like the student activated their username and are just wondering like how they go about setting up their Buckeye Mail and accessing that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the website my.osu.edu, is where you're going to be. And if you remember, you went there to activate it, which would have been a red rectangle, but you would sign in with your username and password in the gray area that will be on the left of the screen. If that does not make sense, and not sure, feel free to call us at this number, the 740-366-9344, and we can walk you through it while you're on the phone to make sure that it happens.
Awesome. And then I have another housing related question that just popped up. This person said, if you apply for the lottery and get offered a room but decline the offer, do you get the $300 deposit back?
You do not get the full deposit back. And so when you are selected to live on campus, in that email, it'll tell you like your options in regards to, you'll be like, congratulations, you've been selected in our lottery, right? So if you get offered and you decline, then you'll get a portion of your deposit back. You will not get the full 300.
Thank you. And then one more question, kind of related to just like Newark campus in general. Are there any buses to get to Newark campus if you don't have a car?
Unfortunately, there is not. Just like how we talked about the Columbus campus, we don't have anything to get from Newark to the Columbus campus. My best advice would be to talk to neighbors to see if anybody else is carpooling.
Another question, like kind of related to the wait list and a potential deposit back. If you cancel the wait, like if you're placed on the wait list and you cancel the wait list before the end of the period, do you receive any of the deposit back?
I'm on mute. Sorry, I'm on mute. So if you, let's say, if you are selected to be on the wait list, again, you'll get an email. In that same email, you'll get your options. So if you decide to withdraw yourself, if you're chosen to be on the wait list and you choose to withdraw by whatever the deadline is, you get your deposit back. However, if you choose to stay on the wait list, there's different dates in which you may get a portion of your deposit back. So just making sure to read the emails thoroughly in regards to any deadlines as it pertains to your deposit for either option. So hopefully that answers your question.
And again, when they do the housing lottery, they will let you know whether you earned a spot or you were put on the wait list. And then they will give you that clarifying information at that point so that you know what the next steps are.
And what your options are as well.
Yes.
And I also want to add to, you can, I know we said mid-July is when the wait list is kind of like, at that point is when we say mid-July as kind of like the deadline, because that's kind of crunch time for fall semester. So if you're still on the wait list at that point, it's best to be exploring other options. You are welcome to stay on the wait list past that point, but again, making sure to read all of your options when it comes to getting your deposit back.
Thank you for that clarification for us, Chantries. Kelsey, is there anything else that's coming through that we should answer?
It looks like that was our last question.
All right, fantastic. Well, again, I would like to thank you for coming to our virtual event tonight to learn more about housing. And if there's anything that was not clear about tonight or you would like more help, more detail, feel free tomorrow. We are here 8 to 5 to reach out to us by calling 740-366-9344, and our team will be happy to help you. And with that, I will say goodbye and good night. Bye, everyone.